Good morning. Welcome to class today. So we're going to go through the Pawanmuktasana series today. The Pawanmuktasana series 1 is an anti-rheumatic set of exercises. I've done a little bit of an explanation in an intro video to help you understand how it was developed and why. But the basis of it is that all of these exercises, they're very, very gentle in themselves, but they're to promote a free flow of energy throughout the whole body. So we start from our toes and we work all the way through the body and finish with our neck and our head. You might need a few props, you might not, but if you want them, you possibly might need a block, you might need a cushion or a bolster, or maybe a folded up towel or something. If you don't have blocks, you can always use books. You might not even need them, but they're there just in case, and I'll show you options as we go along. Just taking our awareness a little bit more internal. Closing the eyes, beautiful straight back, and just beginning to notice the length of the inhales and your exhales. Ideally, you're breathing through your nose, softly in. Perhaps find that little pause at the top of the breath, and then a long, slow exhale. Breathing out all the stale air, drawing belly button back towards your spine. Little pause, and then continue with your inhale. And then softly opening your eyes. So this series of exercises is all seated. We start them in this base position. This position is called Pranayama Sthiti. We've got legs out in front of us. They're pressing down, a little bit activated. You're sitting really nice and tall. Your hands come behind you. Your arms are straight. You can lean back very slightly. So you only want about 20% of your weight on your hands. Your core is doing most of the work to help keep your back nice and straight. And just gazing at your toes. So this is our base position. Now the first exercise is called Padanguli Naman. So we're just going to bend and straighten the toes. Bending them, holding for a moment, and inhaling as you stretch them back out again. Padanguli Naman, toe bending. So we're going to practice this 10 times, squeezing the toes back and exhaling as you scrunch the toes up and press them away. Now most of these exercises are very simple, so the art of them is to keep our awareness in the movement. So inhaling as you come back, notice all the movement in the toes, stretching them back and bending the toes. Notice how that feels, and then stretching them back out again. So let's do 2 more. And then relax the feet. Then we're going to move on to part 2, Gulf Naman. Gulf is your ankle. We're simply going to maybe take the feet a little bit further apart, staying in our base position. We're just going to point the feet, keeping the ankles on the floor, flex the feet. Here you'll notice as you bend, all the tops of the feet are gently stretching, and as you flex, you can feel it moving up your calves to the back of the knees. So you're really aware of everything that's moving, every little part of the body connected to another. So again, we're going to take this for 10 times. Very slow. It's like a little moving meditation. There's no rush. Often when we exercise, we feel like we have to achieve something or be competitive. This is the absolute opposite of that. It's you getting to know your body in a very, very gentle way. Let's do one more. And then relax the feet. Moving on to our third practice, Gulf Chakra. So Gulf is your ankle and chakra is a rotation or a wheel. So again, we're in our base position, lifting our heart, tucking the chin in very slightly, and we're going to simply rotate the ankles around. You might need to just take your feet a little bit wider to give you a bit more space. Your heels remain on the floor and you're just rolling your feet around. So again, we're going to go 10 times. Inhaling as you bring the feet towards you. Slow, gentle circles. And then we're going to go in the other direction. So all of these exercises come from Swami Satyananda Saraswati's book, Asana, Pranayama, Mudra, Bandha. Wonderful book, goes into great detail, and it was Swami Satyananda that invented or created these poses as a practice for people who are wanting to prepare their bodies for more advanced asana, but also for people that maybe haven't moved for a long time, who are feeling a little bit stiff and need to begin to bring their body into movement. So we've done that 10 times. So we're just going to take our heels a little bit wider apart, and this time we're going to take the circles in opposite directions. So you're bringing the toes in towards each other, taking them round, bringing the toes in and then pressing the little toes down towards the floor and coming back to centre. So whichever category you fall into, these postures, this series of exercises is not to be overlooked. Round the other way. When we've got little blockages in the body, one, they take up a lot of energy, these little tight spots, but two, your prana, your life force, it can't move past these blockages, so it gets stuck. So by gently moving all our joints, we start to release some of those blockages to allow the free flow of energy to help us feel healthy and well, energized, in good spirits. So there we go. That was exercise number 3, Gulf Naman. So bringing the feet back together, we're just going to take a little moment after those 3 to sit quietly. Close your eyes, gather your breath for a couple of rounds. Just notice whatever you feel in your legs, your toes, your ankles. And then we'll move on to practice number 4. In this exercise, we're going to bend the left leg in. Going to rest the lower part of the leg on the top of the thigh. You want enough space to be able to move your ankle around. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, this is where some of these props might come in handy. So you could take a nice big cushion or a bolster and just rest your leg on it, or you could possibly use a block, maybe with a towel on the top to make it more comfortable, just to support the top of the thigh so there's not too much pressure on your hip or your knee. So we're going to take the main part of the foot with the right hand and the toes with the left hand, and we're simply going to move the ankle around. So this is called Guf Gornan. Guf again being ankle. So we're rotating the ankle cranks, it could be called. Getting that full range of motion in the ankle joint. So 10 times one way and 10 times the other way. So we have all these little special points in our ankles and our wrists. And when the movement and the energy can flow through these points, it creates a healthy energy flow throughout the whole of the body. So we'll do finish our 10 there, place the leg back down, move your prop over to the other side if you need it, picking up the right leg. So if you're right-handed, you often always start things with on your right side, so we're going to just switch that up a bit and sometimes start on our left. Now you might find that one side's a little bit more tricky than the other, that's absolutely fine, use less or more props, whatever you need. And then we've got right hand on the foot, left hand on the toes, and let's take some nice circles again with this foot. Very slow, there's no rush. So you're exhaling on the downward circle, inhaling on the upward circle. And these points in the wrists and the ankles, they all correspond to the organs in the body as well. So we're helping the energy flow correctly into our internal organs, round the other way, normalizing their function. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax, come back into your base position. Just sit for a moment, preparing for our next exercise. Moving on to our knee bending exercise, a little bit similar to the previous one, but this time we're going to take our thigh round the back of the leg, bring the right foot in, keep the heel hovering off the floor, and as you bring the leg in, you're flexing the foot, so the toes are coming back towards you, and then you're slowly pushing the foot away, hovering it off the floor and inhaling it back up. Exhale away, inhale up, exhale away, inhale up, exhale away, inhale up. Last one. So not only are we working the body, these slow, gentle movements performed in a very non-competitive way also send little signals up to your mind to start to soothe the mind too. So coming up with the left leg, just bringing it in, keep the heel lifted, squeeze it back towards you, flex the feet back, slide the foot away with your exhale. Squeezing in, you're sitting tall. Just check your shoulders are relaxed, check that your chin isn't sort of sticking out ahead of you. Beautiful straight back, sliding away. Squeezing back and pushing away. Last one. Slide away. Relax your arms, relax your leg. Just take a big deep breath in for a moment And then we're going to try both legs. Now, if you've got high blood pressure, if you're pregnant or have any abdominal issues, or you've just had a baby, please don't try this one. Or if your lower back's at all tender, just sit this one out. You could maybe repeat the ones we've just done, or sit quietly, just allow the practices we've done so far to be absorbed into your system. So if you'd like to have a go, sitting tall, Pawanmuktasana Sthiti position, base position. And then we're going to bring the knees up, wrap the hands round the back of the knees. Your heels are hovering off the floor, so you're balancing on your bottom. Move our hands to around the back of the thighs once we're steady. And then we're sliding the legs away. So you might just be coming up to here, or you might be able to straighten the legs, softly point the toes. Hold for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, slowly come back in. So you're trying to keep your heels off the floor. Lift your heart. Inhale, back out. Exhale in, keeping the spine nice and straight. And then relax the legs, the arms. Take a breath. And let's prepare for the next exercise. So we're moving on to Janu chakra. Janu, the knee, chakra, wheels or rotations. So again, we're in our base position. We're going to pick up the right leg. So you could either interlace your hands underneath the thigh or wrap your hands all the way around if you can get it a little bit higher, holding your elbows. We're going to inhale, pick up the lower part of the leg, straighten it if you can. Now trying to keep the knee still, we're taking some circles with the lower part of the leg only. So it's a little bit tricky, take some time to get used to it. You're inhaling as you bring the circle up to the top, and then exhaling as you take the circle down to the bottom. Inhaling up and exhaling round. The main part of your body, the upper body, should be completely still and steady. Lifting your heart, shoulders are relaxed, and your awareness is on your counting and on the movement of your knee, your leg. And then once we've done 8 to 10 one way, we'll go round in the opposite directions. You're really trying hard to keep your knee still. Simply the lower part of your leg that's moving, working into all the little areas of the knee. Let's do 2 more. And just because these exercises seem fairly easy, or some of them do, it's not a reason to overlook them. They're really doing a profound goodness in our body. And then exhaling, coming back down. Let's switch sides. So again, interlace fingers or all of your arm to hold the elbow. Sitting tall, lift up the knee, straighten the leg. Let's start clockwise, coming down, inhaling up. Start to find your rhythm with your breath. Don't need to synchronize your breath to mine. You move to your pace. Round the other way to keep your knee strong, to keep it mobile. to avoid any injuries. So little exercises like this, we're strengthening the quads, we're strengthening the muscles in the inside and outside of the knee, gently allowing the knee joint to rejuvenate and to build strength to avoid future injuries. One more time, coming up and gently back down. So I encourage a little rest after that one. So sitting tall, take a few breaths, just notice how the legs are feeling now. Long inhale, feel the breath moving all the way down to your tummy. And a long, slow exhale, drawing the belly in towards the spine, pushing the breath out. So coming into our half butterfly, Ardha Tatali, we're going to bend our left leg, going to bring the leg in either on top of the thigh if that's comfortable. Again, could use a little bit of support, but we actually need a bit of space here because we want to be able to push the leg down very gently. But if you feel like you need support, if not under the knee, maybe under your thigh a little bit. If you use something squidgy like a cushion, then you're still going to be able to get that little bit of movement in the leg. Otherwise, you could always put the foot just inside your thigh. So find a position that's suitable for you. Now with our left hand, we're very gently going to press the knee down. So nothing here is forced. It's really gentle, just squeezing the knee down and then let it come up. So it's coming up to almost your shoulder and then you're softly pressing down, inhaling back up. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. So all these ailments in our body, whether it's from bad posture or lifestyle, maybe emotional things going on, all these things cause these little blockages in our body. So these soft and gentle, subtle movements get the Pawan, which is the wind or the prana in our body, beginning to move again. So once we've done 8 to 10 on this side, we're going to stay here and move on to the next version of this, which is moving a little bit quicker. This time we're not moving with the breath. We're going to push the knee down but let it spring up on its own. So it's like a little bounce coming up and down, up and down, up and down. Noticing all the energy moving in the hip. But again, you're very gentle, nothing should be hurting. It's really gentle. If you need that cushion under you, just so you're not coming down so much, if you've got any hip or knee injuries, being really careful with yourself. That's it. And about 20, 30 times. And then once you've finished, we're just going to straighten and bend the leg a couple of times. Just realign the knee. Place the leg back down. Let's come over to the other side. So leg comes over. Again, find your prop or place the foot inside the leg if that's easier. I'll show you that way this time, just show you what it looks like. So we're pressing the knee down and inhaling back up. Coming back up as high as you can and then exhaling back down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Now these gentle hip movements are a really good way to practice being able to sit in a cross-legged position if that's something you'd like to be able to do. If you like to meditate, sitting in easy pose, Sukhasana, sometimes that can be quite a challenge. So prior to that, working on these gentle hip movements is really, really supportive for your body. It's actually quite difficult pose to stay in, a cross-legged position. So your body needs a little bit of warming up first. We're not all these yogis that can sit there cross-legged, knees down on the floor for hours on end. Some of us don't have hips that even will ever be able to do that. So being very gentle with yourself. And then once you've done your 10 that way, again, foot inside or foot on the top, little bounces, pressing down, knee springs back up. Not moving with the breath, just keeping your breath nice and steady. Enjoying this little movement in the hip. The blood's going to be flushing through it. Allowing all the fluids in the hip to begin to nourish and rejuvenate. Your body will really love you for all these gentle postures. And relax. So at the end, holding on to the knee, we're just going to straighten, hug, realign everything. Beautiful. Take a moment, take a couple of breaths. Continuing with some hip movement, we're going to move on to our hip rotations. So we're going to pick up our right leg, the hand rests on the knee, and we're holding on to the foot with our left hand. So we're going to begin to take some circles with the hip. Now you could poke your first index finger out and imagine that you're drawing a circle with the end of that finger to help you keep your rotations nice and even. This is called Shroni, which is your hip, Shroni chakra. Hip rotations. So really noticing that movement in the hip, trying to sit tall still, but always got a little lift in your heart. Coming round 8 to 10 times, nice and slow. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. So this stiffness that occurs, this tension in the muscles, is all due to blood not being able to flow properly. It's restricted. So the power of this Pawanmuktasana series is to free up these tight spaces in the body to allow the blood to flow as it should. So popping the leg back down, we'll come over to the other side. Bring up the knee, take the left hand to left knee, pop your little index finger out. Use that as a little way of helping you keep your circles going. So as if you're trying to draw a perfect circle with your index finger. So when the exercises are so simple, it's very easy to lose your concentration, to let your mind wander off. So think of it as a moving meditation. All of your concentration is focused on what you're doing. Whether you're simply focusing on the count, or whether you're focusing on the physical movement itself. How is the hip moving? How is that movement affecting other parts of the body? All the different components of your body, around the other way, working together to create this one little movement of the hips. So you're not trying to achieve anything, you're not trying to get yourself into a particular position. You're simply bringing movement into your joints in a caring and gentle way. One more. And exhale, relax, sit quietly. Notice how your hips feel. Maybe there's a little bit of tingling in there as the energy starts to flow. Big breath in and big breath out. Beautiful. So take a little pause, maybe have a sip of water if you need to, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So we're moving on to butterfly, full butterfly position, Purna Titali. So we're going to bring our feet up, bend the knees, the soles of your feet are together. So you're coming in as close as you comfortably can towards you. You're going to hold onto your feet. We're sitting tall, looking down towards our toes, and very gently we're going to flutter our knees up and down. So again, there's no force here. It's a gentle bouncing of the knees. Here your focus is on allowing the inner thighs to relax. We hold an awful lot of tension there often, so just allowing them to relax. You're not moving with your breath, simply breathing normally, bouncing the legs softly up and down. Going to go for about 20 to 30 times. Really good little exercise again to relax the legs, get the circulation flushing through, and a very good practice for warming up before sitting in meditation. So softly bouncing, a couple more times, and release. Legs come back out in front. Take a moment. We've been working on the toes, the ankles, the legs, the knees, the thighs, the hips. We're going to move on to our hands now. So if you've had enough of sitting on the floor, you could actually do the next few postures sitting in a chair, if that's more comfortable for you. Otherwise, we're going to stay in our base position and we're going to take our arms out in front of us. So we're holding both hands out in front, stretching them out in front of you, sitting tall. Looking at your hands, the palms are facing down. So we're going to wrap the thumb in and then we're going to clench the fingers around that thumb. And then very slowly, as you inhale, you're going to take the fingers out, stretch them really wide, and then as you exhale, you're going to bring them back in, clench the wrists, and then slowly inhale out, exhale in. So this exercise is called hand clenching, or in Sanskrit it's Mushtika Bandhana. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, they're not up around your ears. And release. Release your arms. Maybe give your shoulders a little wiggle if you need to. So the next one is called Mani Bandha Naman. So again, hands out in front of us, stretch the fingers wide. This time we're going to lift the fingers up. So you're really pushing away with the palm of your hand as if you're pressing your hand strongly against a wall. Fingers stay straight, and then you exhale, bring the fingers down. Inhale, back up. Again, shoulders nice and relaxed, heart's lifted. Even if you're sitting in your chair, you're trying not to lean back on the chair, using your tummy muscles to help you sit nice and tall. Inhale the fingers up, exhale the fingers down. Inhale up, hello Bodhi, and exhale down. Inhale up, keep the fingers nice and straight, exhale down. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling down. Relax the arms, give them a little rest. So the next one, again with the wrists, Going to bring the thumb in, wrap the fingers around. So now we're going to try and keep the arms really, really straight. We're simply going to move the wrists round in circles. So going very slowly. It's actually really hard to keep your arms still while you do this. So trying to keep them still. Circling the wrists gently round. Now all of these wrist and hand ones, wonderful little movements if you use the computer a lot, if you're on your phone a lot, maybe you drive a lot, round the other way, or maybe the wrists and fingers are just starting to feel a little bit stiff and achy. So notice how your forearms, it's really hard to keep your arms still, so I'm going to just come back to centre and start again. There we go. And relax, give the fingers a wiggle. Move the shoulders around. It's not just the wrists, it's the shoulders. Get you on that one as well. Okay, so moving on. Elbow bending. We're going to take the hands out in front of us again. Could still be seated in a chair if you prefer at this point. Palms facing up. And then exhaling, fingers to touch your shoulders. And inhaling out. So you're trying to keep your upper arm, this part of the arm, parallel with the floor. You're simply using your elbows to move the forearms and the hands. Exhaling in. Inhaling out. So check you're still sitting tall. Check the shoulders are relaxed. Chin is tucked in. So we'll go for 3 more. There's no rush. And then maybe just take a little bit of movement in the shoulders before taking the arms out to the side for the second part of this exercise. Bringing the hands in, inhaling out. Exhaling in, inhaling out. Coming in for 5. 6. Remember, all of your attention is in your body. What muscles are working. Feeling some of the fire building in your shoulders, upper arm muscles. That Agni fire is burning away any blockages, any toxins, getting everything moving. And relax the arms. Maybe take a little wiggle. Lovely. Okay, so moving on. Continuing with our arms, we're coming into Kahuni chakra. So elbow rotations. So we're going to start again with our right. We're going to take the lower part of our arm with our left hand. So this time we're going to try and keep this part of the arm really nice and still, level with the floor. And all we're doing is trying to create some nice circles by just moving at the elbow, moving your forearm and hand round in some slow circles. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll go round in the other direction. Exercise does not need to be complicated. These are very simple little movements. But done with all of your concentration, you're moving slowly and with awareness. And that sends little messages up to your mind and your brain, just to start to slow your thinking process down, slow your thoughts, relax your mind, and release, coming over to the other side. Now, if as you get more advanced in this you don't feel like you need to support your arm, you don't have to. I'm going to, just because it helps me create better circles, keeping the arm nice and still. Now, Swami Satyananda advised that we should not move on to any more advanced practices until we're completely adept at doing all of this series, all 3 series of Pawanmuktasana. Series 1, which we're working on today, is the anti-rheumatic series. Round the other way. The second series is all to do with your digestion, your abdominal muscles, your digestive system. And then number 3 is the Shakti Bandha, so you're moving, really starting to move the energy about in series 3. One more time. And release. Give the shoulders a little rub if you need to. Take some circles. Close your eyes. Rest your hands in your lap. When you're resting your hands in your lap, it's quite nice to have the lower left hand underneath the right. Allow the thumbs to softly touch. Close the eyes. Just settle in with your breath for a few moments. Notice how the shoulders are feeling. Created a little bit of heat and movement in them. Maybe you can feel that running through the shoulders, the upper body, the arms. Might manifest itself as a gentle tingling feeling in the body, little vibrations. And then we'll move on. Continuing with our shoulders, we're going to move into Skanda chakra. Skanda is the shoulder chakra, circles or rotations. So hands come onto your shoulders. We're sitting tall. Lift your heart. Center yourself, perhaps gazing at your toes. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring the elbows forward. They can touch or almost touch. And then inhaling up to the top and exhaling round behind you. So moving with the breath just slows the movement down. Inhaling up, exhaling round. Close the eyes if you want to, really taking your awareness inside. Beginning to squeeze the shoulder blades together as you come back behind you. Try not to arch the back, so we're still squeezing the tummy in as we exhale. Tuck your bottom underneath you slightly to stop that arch in your back. Spine is beautifully straight. Inhaling up and exhaling behind. Awareness is on all the movements in your shoulders. So many little muscles and ligaments moving as you move your shoulders. So become aware of all those little components in your body, all acting together to enable your shoulders to move freely. And then we'll take that round in the other direction. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling as the elbows come forward, maybe to touch. And then inhaling round and back behind you. So if you're suffering from frozen shoulder or any sort of shoulder, upper back tightness, really good exercise to practice. Even if to start with your circles are quite small, doesn't matter. Just moving to your limitations. As long as you're moving in some form or another. And then release. Taking a gentle breath. Notice the shoulders, notice the arms. Notice how you feel. So if you're still in your chair, that's absolutely fine. We're moving on now to our neck exercises. Otherwise, you're sitting on the floor. If you've had enough of sitting with your legs out, you could take it into a cross-legged position. With your hands, you could make a mudra. So you could either go for chin mudra, where the first finger just touches the inside of the thumb and your hands are faced up, rested on your knees. Or you could go for jhana mudra, which is the same position but your hands are facing down. This is more of a grounding position. Facing up is more of an energizing position. So various options with hands and legs, or just stay in your chair if that's where you're comfortable. Griva Sanchalana. Griva is our neck. So we've done ankles, legs, knees, hips. We've done shoulders, a little bit of tummy. More tummy comes into the second series of exercises. And now we're going to close with some exercises for the neck. Facing forward, sitting tall, shoulders are very relaxed. There's no hunching of the shoulders. Hands are comfortable in whichever position you've chosen. Close your eyes for these. So we're going to tuck the chin down towards your chest, looking down towards the floor. And then as you breathe in, you're lifting the head gently up. So you're not coming up to your full capacity, just easing yourself up. And then as you're ready to exhale, slowly coming back down. So as you reach the end of your breath, that's when your chin should start to arrive at your chest. Inhaling slowly up, moving with the breath, and exhaling down. Becoming very, very aware of your neck, back of your head. You're also moving the front of your neck. So as you tuck the chin down, and then as you inhale, you'll feel the front of the neck stretching up. Let's go for 2 more. Bringing a little bit of space into the upper vertebrae. Very gentle movement. There's no forcing or overstretching. It's all very careful and slow. So bring the head forward. This time we're going to take it from one side to the other. So starting centrally, you're trying to keep the shoulders down and even. So again, eyes can be closed if you want. Tilting the head to the right. And then as you inhale, you're coming up. Exhaling down to the left. Check your shoulders. Then when you're ready to breathe in, you're slowly coming up to the top. And then when you're ready to breathe out, over to the other side. Take that little pause in between the inhale and the exhale. Inhaling up to center. Try to keep the chin tucked in. Exhaling down to the other side. Pause. Inhale up. And exhale over. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Slowly coming back to center. Keep your eyes closed. Notice how your neck's feeling. We're going to move on back to neutral position. The last one is to take some little neck circles. So again, your eyes are closed and you're just rolling your head carefully round. Shoulders are relaxed. Any pain or discomfort, just come to a nice still seated position. All the nerves connecting the different organs and limbs of the body pass through the neck. Especially if you're feeling a little bit stressed, it seems to be the first place in many of us, round the other way, that we hold our tension. So being ever so careful, these practices gently release tension, any heaviness and stiffness, allowing the head and the neck to feel a little bit freer and lighter. And then once you've finished, keep the eyes closed, come back to center. Notice any tingling, any little sensations in the neck and the head. Take some time here to let those settle. Now after this practice, it's really important you drink lots of nice fresh water. We've moved a lot of energy throughout the body in a very subtle way. So I'd like you just to come into a lying down position, moving very slowly. So again, if you wanted to, you could pop a bolster or something underneath your knees. That makes it really nice and comfortable. You could have a cushion under your head. And we're just going to take a few moments to allow all that energy that's moved around to settle. Rest your hands on your tummy or bring them out to the side, palms facing up. Allow your whole body to relax here. Allow the breath to begin to settle. Easy breath. Your legs and your hips, your tummy and your shoulders are all completely relaxed. Feeling heavy on the mat. Soften your jaw, your face. And just for a moment, bring your inner gaze up towards the space between your eyebrows. Breath is still flowing with ease. And then relax your eyes. Feel the back of the neck and the head rest heavy on the mat. This might have been a very different practice to something that you're used to. Maybe it's a lot slower. Sometimes that's a challenge, just to slow everything down and really connect and pay attention to every little part of your body. So I hope you enjoyed it. We've loosened up all the joints of the body. It's an excellent relief and also prevention for any arthritic condition or rheumatism, and just a general feeling of heaviness and stiffness in the body. We've eliminated energy blocks in the joints of the physical body, and also we're beginning to pay attention, a lot of self-awareness in this practice, and with that comes self-acceptance, and with that comes self-confidence. So stay resting in your Shavasana as long as you would like to. I'll say goodbye and thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again in my future videos. Namaste.